Welcome everyone to the Real Whovians cast. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212. Hello everybody. So, yes, I'm loving this new setup with the lighting and everything. Thank you, Sharon. Um, my sleeping schedule has been off because I'm trying to readjust it back to working retail medical levels, so to speak. So I need to be sleeping like a normal person during the night so I could be awake in the morning, afternoon, evening. So it's going to be rough, but I'm transitioning back to my work schedule. Wanted to talk about a few things on the Real Whovians cast today. So I just got news this morning. I haven't even been able to confirm what I'm looking at, but it looks like this is coming from the direct that David Tennant has a role in the Spider-Man universe. Okay, he's going to take the role of Captain Webbeard, a swashbuckling pirate character that leads into high-energy, eccentric charm Tennant famously brings to his voice work. It's for the Disney Junior, the younger audience of Disney Junior, the younger Spider-Man show, because there is, the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man on Disney Plus, but they also have a younger Spider-Man show for kids. And I think this is very telling that he is a part of this. Not a lot of people know, but the overall consensus of these organizations like Disney, like Paramount, they like David Tennant. He is a well-known name. Back in the day, Doctor Who, they used to have Doctor Who, what was Disney XD, and they would always show Doctor Who David Tennant stuff, right? And David Tennant has worked for Disney, besides being with Disney Plus for Doctor Who, with the 60th anniversary and the specials and stuff. He's done voice work for a lot of shows like DuckTales, and although Catherine Tate, Donna Noble, has been, I think, Magic at the Spell on DuckTales, but he's gotten a lot of work with Disney Plus doing his show Rivals. So he's got a good Disney loves David Tennant, and Sony loves David Tennant too, because Sony has the rights, of course, to Spider-Man movies and stuff like that, and they're working with Disney so they could share Spider-Man into the MCU, the Marvel Universe, on Marvel Cinematic Universe. So David Tennant has a great relationship, and this is why too. Russell T Davies knows this, and he knows that if they were going to do a crossover with Star Trek and Paramount, that they would want David Tennant. Odds are like 90-something%. So this is a good thing that he's doing. He's got like all these roles. He's got a role in the Young Spider-Man Junior Disney Junior show. I haven't caught it. I haven't watched one episode. It's themed towards younger kids. I did watch the more adult Spider-Man, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which I thought was great. And I was surprised too, because I didn't think I was going to like it. But this opened up doors opens up doors, where David Tennant is got his name out there all over the place. I mean, he's been a part of everything. Star Wars also. So, and now we got Matt Smith that's part of Star Wars. That's going to be excellent. So, the more, the merrier, really. So I'm excited where this could go if David Tennant can have a role, live action role in the MCU or even Star Wars is very, very good for the product in general. Like I said, I'm a huge David Tennant fan, so to see him appear on a variety of different projects to do with Disney Plus and to do with Paramount and, spread out, that would be lovely. So, yeah, I didn't know the news yesterday that David Tennant was hired by Disney Junior, like Disney Plus and stuff like that. So I'm very excited that David Tennant's on board. I did want to talk about a different take on Russell T. Davis, and I kind of have this interesting theory that I wanted to run by you guys. As you know, a lot of us, love when Doctor Who came back, right? We love Russell T. Davis when he brought Doctor Who back with Christopher Eccleston, right? And things were different then. I believe Russell T. Davis was married, right? He was happy and stuff like that. And a lot of us have been trying to figure out why things are different now. Right? Now we know like things shape a person. If I could use myself as an example, I write books, right? Now I'm not here to promote myself, by the way, so don't take this the wrong way because I hardly ever do that. But I write motivational books, poetry, fiction, right? Poetry in motion. So it's sort of like fictional universe from emotional response, right? Like with poetry. I started writing sad, right? Really sad, but would try to propel the viewer into the positive, right? But I was always writing like sad, sad, sad. Interesting thing is that when I overcame my depression of 9 years time, right, through a real life event that occurred, which I'm not really going to go into, right, which I never really go into. I unexpectedly got into a relationship, right? I was single for 9 years. I was depressed. I was messed up, right? And I sort of like changed things up, right? I took a job in a place that I've never been, a place that I've always loved, like, New York City, Manhattan, right? I always loved New York City. I live in New York City, right? But I've never worked there in Manhattan, right? So, like, I wound up taking a job. I wanted to change all aspects of my life after being in a depression. So I felt it was good to, instead of travel by car, travel by public transportation, right? Ride the train, ride the ferry. Like my father would travel to Wall Street in brokerage firms, right? I wanted to travel like my father and see what it was like. So I took a job in the city, right? And I did the whole team like my dad. Like I took the train to take the ferry, sitting on the ferry, having my bagel, having my coffee, and then from the ferry, getting into the city, taking the subway where I needed to go, right? A whole different atmosphere, a whole different landscape. Okay. And I don't know what it was, but my whole world was changing and I really wasn't aware of it, right? Like it was sort of like a sequel to a movie, and it's like the best sequel ever, right? Like Empire Strikes Back, boom, changed everything, right? Or Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. So like my whole world was changing, and I sort of felt like all my bad luck and all these bad things that were happening to me was as if in reverse, right? Like I felt like blessed. I felt like I had an angel like protecting me, like, like from the bad luck, from the bad stuff, right? And that I had this thing like, oh, there's better things on my horizon, better things on my horizon, right? And a woman started contacting me on a dating site, right? And I was always against dating sites and stuff, and I'm like, oh, whatever, because they just were just created, and I always was against it, right? So this woman started talking to me, and I was kind of like, you know, not really wanting to do it, but then I sort of liked the communication. I sort of liked talking to someone again, right? She kept talking to me, and I'm like starting to get used to it, where like, oh, talking to a girl again, a woman again, right? So like, I'm going into this new job, and I'm with these new people related to my field, the pet industry I was in, right? So, um, and again, it was a whole different atmosphere. I mean, literally, I would work in these pet stores and merchandise and stuff like that, and celebrities would come in buying dog food for their dogs. Tony Shalhoub, like Lady Gaga came in. Like it's just, and I heard like Lady Gaga was doing something in the city. I guess she used to live or whatever she was doing, sing like lessons or something like for like singing lessons to people and private things and like whatever. And she had something in the city, and and people just celebrities would come in. And I'm like, blew my mind that like when you're living in the city, people make no big deal about it bumping into celebrities because you're in the city. It's like you're busy, right? So like the whole thing is like I started to see this whole thing. Like when I would be in the city, everybody's so interested in going to work and busy that when you're traveling, right, you don't have time. It's always like running to the ferry, running to the subway. You don't have time. So you see a celebrity along the way, it's like, okay, like, hi, how you doing? Like not even like time, right? I remember seeing Michael Cera like on the street, and he was in a play, but he didn't want nobody to know that I saw him, and I looked at him, he looked at me, and I'm like just like this, like don't worry, I ain't gonna say shit because you don't need to be mobbed. But like so fast, I couldn't even like whatever. So it's just like it's a whole different mentality working in the city, right? So anyway, I started talking to this girl, and then I'm like, oh, I was worried I gotta meet this person, right? Because I'm like, enough talking. Like now, let's set up a date, right? And she lived in Brooklyn, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if this is gonna work. I kind of wanted to set up like a backup plan out of it, just in case it went sour, right? So I set up the date to where there's no possible way that the date can continue, where I would meet her in the morning in Brooklyn because it's my son's birthday, so I would have to get out of there and then go pick him up. Like my son Joe was Joe's birthday. Um, and my kids Joseph and Anthony, so I would have to pick up Joe and Anthony because it was Joe's birthday. So I figured, all right, I meet her in the morning, spend time with her like on this blind date, and then don't worry, the date would end because I have no choice. I have to get out of there because I have to pick up the kids, visitation or whatever. So I remember like thinking in my head, there's no way this is gonna work. Just get it done. Just get it done because at least you got out there, you got on a date. Boy, was I wrong. But and not to go into details, but I met her for breakfast, had a great time, went back to, walking around the streets of Brooklyn with her, went back to her apartment. She showed me her different stuff there and everything. And then I had to go right back, on the transportation back home because my car was in Staten Island, right? And on the way back, like it went so well the date that when I'm waiting for the bus, she just kissed me, right? Out of the blue, pucker off, boom. Whole world, like, like changed dramatically. And then, of course, I grabbed her and I kissed her back, like passionately. We kept kissing. And then I had to get on the bus. I had to go. And then in the bus, I'm like thinking, like, what the fuck just happened, right? It's like a light switch, right? So, like, and then everything changed, right? Like, she was my girlfriend, right? We started, like, we went on the second date and then third date, and like, she was my girlfriend, whatever. And the whole point is that for being depressed and like writing sad, right? My writing was affected. I started writing a new series based off of my second book, Tomorrow's Song, off the concept better things on your horizon, right? And I had the character already established, right? So I started to like implement certain things into the fictional world, right? A new beginning for the character, right? In the New York setting and city and the romance and everything. My covers started getting lighter and brighter. The whole damn theme of the book, like this, the books related to the second series was completely like positive and completely in a different direction, like night and day to the Sorrow Separation series. Like the Tomorrow Song series was like 10 years later for the character, but like completely, well, 9 years later, basically nine years time, like after. But the whole point is like completely different direction, and I wrote differently. So things in real life. My point is, and yes, the relationship didn't last that long, but it gave me the courage to go out there and have the confidence to date again and try again to meet the right person. And of course, you know, I'm with Sharon now, and again, I had the courage then to, like, I was friends with her for decades, and to when I donated to, she used to do the Making Strides for breast cancer walks, and I used to donate every year. I had the courage to ask her out to dinner, and then that's it. We got together after 25 years, and we were like really good friends since like seventh grade, right? So, like, but like if that didn't happen to me, I wouldn't have had the courage, right? Like things happened when I was depressed. Like Sharon was my friend; she was in my life. She tried to get me out of my depression, to go to her birthday party when she was 30, way back when, And even though I went, I was still in a depression, whatever. And people have tried back then. But once I got into that relationship, and even though it ended quickly, it wasn't that long. It just changed me. It changed my writing. It changed everything. And I have so many wonderful memories from that event, and I respect that because I felt like that was like with Doctor Who, a fixed point in time. Like that had to happen to me to change me for the better, right? So the reason why I'm bringing this up with Doctor Who is I want to see, because we all know, and I'm not trying to get personal with Doctor Who, right? But we all know that Russell T Davies lost his husband. His husband died, right? And then he's sort of going into, all these different things. Now, what if, just here's a theory, what if, like, when I was depressed and I was alone and I was miserable, I was writing sad? What if his writing was affected because he was single? I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not making excuses for him, right? I'm just putting myself into the picture, but as Russell, right? What if that affected his writing, right? Now, here's the kicker, right? We all know, right? He has a boyfriend now. He has Oliver Cole, right? And a lot of people, okay, poking fun, whatever it is. I have the opposite opinion of it because I always want to see people genuinely happy, right? Like if you're happy, I'm happy, right? So let me just put this out there to all Doctor Who fans because to have a little bit of patience, right? What if now he's going to write the Doctor Who Christmas special, but he's going to write the Doctor Who Christmas special while he's purely happy? What if this Christmas special is going to be a banger? What if this Christmas special is going to be like an enlightenment where this is the original Russell T Davies when he's happy? Just a theory, right? I'm not making excuses. This is me composing a theory, right? What if, as he's completely happy, and I'm telling you right now, if you could see the facial expressions and you could see the mannerisms, right? If you go onto his Instagram and you could see the face, you could tell when he's happy and he's sort of like faking happy, right? I mean, you've seen it, right? He's purely fucking happy, right? I can see. What if this is quite possibly the greatest fucking 2026 Christmas special of Doctor Who you've ever fucking seen in your goddamn life? Would you be jumping the gun to wanting him gone? Now that's up to interpretation. That's up to everybody to talk about. And feel free, if you want to do podcasts based on what I said, you want to mention me, you have my permission. But you could say I touched upon it on the Real Whovians cast, and you can go crazy with your podcast and do whatever you want. But I'm just saying, what if that's the case? Right? Just imagine that for a minute. Imagine if that was the thing. If you're trying to find out what's missing in your life. He wrote Doctor Who when he was happy. Originally. Blows your mind, right? I mean, it's just a theory. I'm not like trying to dissect them. I'm not trying to figure out stuff. But here's the thing. For someone that's leaving Doctor Who, like the rumors suggest, why does he care about a Star Trek crossover? Like, why? Why? Why does he care? I mean, he's leaving, right? That's the rumor, right? After the Christmas special, he's leaving, right? So, why? Why does he care? He's not going to do it, right? Why is he in New York City? Not only that, but he went to New York City with Oliver Cole, and not by himself. He went with the entire Bad Wolf entourage, like his entourage. You see the show Entourage on HBO? His group, like they're all walking together, like, you know, like sort of like when you used to watch like the CW, you used to see like, you know, Arrow, right? And the Flash, Supergirl, and they all like that whole group, and they're walking like that whole thing together, like down the. It's like holy shit, right? That's their entourage, right? That's their group. That's their thing, right? So he's with his people, right? Why is he there? It's not pleasure. So now let's dissect this. He goes to The View to watch Whoopi Goldberg. Now, in case you're not aware, Whoopi Goldberg is a Doctor Who fan. That's one. She's friends with Russell T Davies. That's two. And she was supposed to be in a Christmas special. He wrote her a Christmas special, but she couldn't be in a Christmas special, so we had to have Moffat write a different Christmas special because of whatever happened. She couldn't appear in it. Okay, but that's why Moffat had to write a new one because they couldn't go with that one, right? Probably with Shooty Gat, which is probably going to be it, right? So, and then back in the day, she wanted to be a doctor too, right? Like a fan, right? Whoopi Goldberg plays one of the most integral Star Trek: The Next Generation characters. She plays the character of Guinan, who is from this race that can have the perception of changes in the timeline. Okay, she has this sort of outer worldly sense if the timeline changes, and we've seen that in the episodes, right? We've seen yesterday's Enterprise, one of my favorite episodes in Star Trek: The Next Generation, that when the Enterprise C came through the wormhole, it altered the whole entire timeline. And she immediately sensed the timeline was changed. She didn't know the exact details, but she knew that Tasha Yar was dead, and now she's alive, and she doesn't belong there. And she had to coach Captain Picard, played by Patrick Stewart, to fix the timeline so that way it could be restored back to the original timeline. Okay? And it did, but with an add-on that didn't affect the timeline at all, but affected the future because now Tasha Yar had a child that was Romulan, and she was a villain, and she hated Captain Picard. She hated Starfleet. She hated everything about it because her mother was suffering and abused and everything, and her coming into being wasn't about love. It was, they used her. It was horrible, had a horrible life, but she had a horrible life because she had to fix the timeline, and she journeyed into the past because their captain died to make sure that they survived that battle. Right. So now they kidnapped her, they abducted her, the Romulans, they tortured her, whatever, and then she had a Romulan child. So I'm not going to, you read between the lines. So she purely hated Captain Picard and wanted to hurt him, destroy him, kill him, whatever. But anyway, Guinan also, Q hates her because Q is like a god, but sort of like she's Q's enemy because Q, maybe his powers don't work on her. So just imagine now that character is tied in with Patrick Stewart, Captain Picard, The Next Generation, right? You have now, if you're gonna have a Star Trek crossover with Doctor Who, she's gonna be in it because she's Russell T Davies' friend, and she's gonna be in it. So she's gonna be Guinan. So again, we all heard that Patrick Stewart said that he's getting older now, and he wants to do one more go as Captain Picard, right? So this could be it. Okay, how would you do that? On the Paramount Network, right? So what does that mean? Well, that could be a pitch for Doctor Who to join Paramount. Hey, you put us on your streaming service, we'll give you a crossover. And again, of course, you get Captain. What works with Picard series when Captain Picard came back and they brought a series? What do you remember? Do you remember season 1, season 2? No. You remember season 3? Because Star Trek: The Next Generation. They're all back. And it was with the Borg, and it was the most phenomenal thing. It was like a season 8 almost of Star Trek: Next Generation. It was above average. Even Nerdrotic loved the shit out of it. And nothing bad to say about it. I'm telling you, I loved it. So, and that got me to watch it. So blew my goddamn mind. But that was only temporary because everything else with Star Trek remained shit. But Picard season 3, above average. That's it. So imagine Doctor Who and Star Trek together. Imagine it be Whoopi Goldberg as Guinan Captain Picard, the whole Enterprise crew, Next Generation, right? And the Doctor. Maybe Q's in it, probably, right? Now, if you got Q in it, who's like sort of like a god, it would make sense to do a thing related to that, where a god on god battle, right? Like maybe the toy maker, right? Makes sense that something happened and universes collide, right? And or maybe the toy maker tries to escape and then stumbles upon that universe. The Doctor chases after him. And of course, the Doctor, David Tennant, Donna Noble, Catherine Tate, makes sense because you have to understand something. Doctor Who isn't a straight line. It's never been. You've learned over the years that that straight line, let's just say, you think about a line, right? It's all over the place, right? There are universes. Now, all right, you want to say the multiverse, right? Like they showed with Jodie Whittaker, right? Where they're like, oh, this is another universe, this is another universe. Besides being actual universes, there are other dimensions. Okay. There's a difference between that because it's sort of like the sideways in time thing is twisted, right? So it's not meant to make sense, right? But it doesn't make sense, right? So the Seventh Doctor was telling Ace how there's sort of like dimensions that are sideways in time, basically connecting to its own universe, but not really counted as, I guess, the multiverse, but like it's not even a parallel dimension. It's a sideways in time, another dimension, but not parallel, right? So in that one dimension we saw in Battlefield, where King Arthur might be fictional in our universe, he's not there, right? King Arthur is not fictional there. It's real. Morgan Le Fay, Mordred, right? It's all real. But with that universe, there's technology. The world changed to where, imagine Camelot, the Knights of the Round, but technology, right? They had guns. They had laser guns. So because of this that's been implemented in Doctor Who, when Ruby Sunday went to the 15th Doctor and she was talking about something to do with Star Trek, he goes to her, oh, we really got to visit them one day. Meaning that there is a universe out there that's real and it exists completely. Not, oh, we got to visit a fake set with them filming a movie. No, he has been there. He's like, oh, we got to visit them one day, right? Knowing that they're real. Now, we had the convention, and Russell had talked with the Star Trek people. Obviously, Russell gave them permission with the BBC to put the TARDIS in Strange New Worlds, in that junk heap thing. And he obviously gave them permission to say, like one of the Starfleet officers from, I guess, the Enterprise, that she was a companion of the Doctor and she traveled through time. That was sort of they planted the seed. Now, something could come from it, or nothing can come from it, but you'd always question, what the hell, right? They planted the seed. So that way they can go back and they could allude to that. They could, get in there a little bit, right? They did that when we were growing up. If you used to watch Transformers, there was an episode where the villain to the Autobots wasn't necessarily the Decepticons. It was this guy called Snake, who was like a arms dealer or whatever the hell he was, right? And he kicked Rodimus Prime's ass and the Transform Autobots' ass. Completely kicked their ass, right? And you're like, oh, who is so good that's a human that can kick the Transformers' ass? And you found out at the end, he's old and he's choking. He jumps up in the air and he goes, Cobra! Right? It's Cobra Commander. Cobra Commander was the villain, the leader of Cobra against G.I. Joe. So the one villain that kicked the Transformers' ass that wasn't a Transformer, Decepticons, was Cobra Commander, older, completely kicked their ass. All right? So that was a thing they put in there. They put a little seed in there. If something came from it, great. If nothing came from it, it was always a gem to look back on, right? And say, wow, this is a great time in Transformer history. Cobra Commander was fucking in the episode. Holy shit. Right? So, here's me as a fan. Now, I got to tell you, I have this thing about me. I don't know what it is, but I'm sort of not time aware, right? Now, I'm getting older, of course, right? But my memories are so crisp and vivid, right? My perception of reality, like it's right there, like it just happened, right? So something happened recently and I bumped into somebody and I'm like, I know you from somewhere. Of course, I'm old. I couldn't think at the moment, place where I met the person. So then I said, oh, I used to be your boss when I was a district manager in the pet industry. And I'm like, you work for me. And the guy is like, yeah, like 25 maybe years ago or 30 years ago. And I'm like, oh. But to me, it's not 25, 30 years because I remember it vividly like it's just a week ago. So I don't have so that's the thing is I created this term, I don't have time awareness, right? So like, it's sort of like, think of yourself as like a time lord, let's say, right? Like you're aging, your body's aging, but you're not aging. Like you're in this body, you're in this vessel, right? But you can't control the changes in your body, the way you look. I mean, in yourself, in your brain, you're how you appear, right? Like if you had an avatar, you're like 20, right? You're young. In your spirit, like that's what you are. You may not look like it, but you're that same person that you were 20, right? In your brain. Yeah, maybe you got more mature and stuff, but you're still your perception of reality. So I'm kind of not time aware. Maybe that's a good thing though, because it's like I'm a child still. Sometimes people are like, grow up, and I'm like, no, I won't grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid, damn it. No. So I mean, that's the thing. I think it as a plus that I'm not time aware. But it is funny though at times when stuff like that comes up and they're like, that was like years ago. And I'm like, oh, yeah, right. And then I'm like, has it been that? Well, yeah, because this gray hair says that. This empty space in my forehead that doesn't have hair anymore says it. So yeah, it's 25, 30 years. Yeah, they're right. Even though my brain, it's like fresh, like it just happened. They're right. But anyway, just imagine my point was with this whole podcast today that I'm doing solo is that things in real life affect you, right? It could be something great happens to you. It could be something bad happens to you. So it alters your whole thing. So with me, that good event happened with me changed my writing and made me write positive. Do I have any books near me? Of course not. I don't. But it made me write positive. It made me write better, I think, right? So I couldn't write like that anymore. I couldn't write the sadness like that anymore, right? Because I was all positive. Had a new relationship, a new love. I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm young, 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 alive, happy, ready to take on the world, ready to just go out there. And of course, I put out that book, and I'm like, yes, yes. And that book, mind you, let me tell you about that book, Promised Dream, based on that, right? I put that book together during Hurricane Sandy, which was the worst thing that ever happened to me. But I did that book and I did put it out, right? I put it out. And I was so, when that book came out, everything changed because that book made it possible. That book made it possible for Barnes and Noble to say, yes, we'll carry it. We're the #1 retailer in the world. Yes, we'll carry it. We love that cover. It's positive. It's beautiful. We love it. And that opened the door to the entire line of books to be carried. That one book that was completely different than the other books. And it's sort of like made me feel young, made me feel strong, made me feel like I could conquer the freaking world. Now, mind you, I did all these books before I was a YouTuber. The majority of my books before I was a YouTuber. Before I had my first video up. Now, I created the channel in 2007, but it's a nice name for me, what I am, but this was before you got to even see me as Matrix Lord 212, right? So these books, when they started to take off, before it got to be, say, Promised Dream in 2012, right? These books had changed my life for the better. Even though they were sad but inspirational, this is sort of the beginnings of Matrix Lord 212 because when I was successful, when I was doing the books, I had limos. I had limos to pick up the kids. I had limos to go to book signings. It was a different time in my life. I was wearing the blazers. I was getting and I was doing YouTube videos. I was confident. I was younger than I was ever in my goddamn life. I was regenerated. I was rejuvenated. My spirit soared higher than it's ever been. And it was because of the books. But when that happened, that event that happened. Of course, that happened before my YouTube channel had a first video, right? And I implemented that into a new book, a new series, right? That led, the books led to the confidence. The books and Doctor Who led to me coming onto the screen and this is Matrix Lord 212. It was a combination. It was the books. It was like my personality. It was like me going on forums. The confidence, like everything was switching. And I did so many goddamn videos that I got monetization on YouTube in 5 weeks. And it was all about Doctor Who. All about Doctor Who. So again, the point of the Real Whovians cast today is I'm talking about how things happen to you in real life that affects you. And I believe strongly that, and this is a theory, but I believe strongly that the Christmas special of 2026 will be one of the greatest goddamn things you've ever seen from Russell T Davies. Now, I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'll come on here and say, hey, whenever I'm wrong, I come on here and I'm like, I'm wrong, right? This is just a guess. This is just a theory. But I'm telling you right now, I'm pretty sure that this Christmas special 2026 is going to be the fucking most craziest, greatest fucking thing you've seen in a while. Maybe it's not the best. I don't know. But I have a feeling. I have a feeling that love finds a way. And love found its way into his heart. And it's going to affect his writing. And it's going to be different. And we're going to see. And then a lot of people are going to be like, oh man, he's leaving. This was so good. Why is he leaving? But again, that's a rumor though. See, I don't believe in that rumor at all. And there's no source here. I'm not conferring with the source. This is just me and a sourceless opinion. I don't think he's gone at all, honestly. I don't think Bad Wolf is gone at all. I don't know where anybody's thinking that, but you don't go into New York City for Doctor Who all these days and weeks promoting, looks like trying to get streaming service, and you don't promote after your run unless you're going to do after your run. Just saying, nobody wants to do it. There's no way. If I'd be surprised if Russell doesn't do Doctor Who after the Christmas special. And if he doesn't, then it would in my brain, it would have to be like Moffat or somebody that is very close to him that would be in charge of Doctor Who that he could oversee still. Because I don't believe it. I do not believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe he's gone. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We could agree to disagree, right? We could still be friends, right? Could we be friends still? Even though we don't agree? I hope so. Yeah, I learned a lot last year, right? And a lot of things happened to us as human beings. And a lot of things happened to me. Besides the YouTube stuff, besides the internet stuff, real life stuff happened to me. Right? And it was sort of like a test of wills. Right? And it was sort of like things start to get bad. Now, mind you, I was moving towards gaming mostly and less on podcasts and less on doctor stuff and everything, but bad things were happening. And I was trying my best to work with what I had, right? To play the hand that was dealt. Now, mind you, the hand that was dealt me, I took those cards. I threw it. I don't believe it. I don't believe your reality. Just like Connor said to the doctor. I don't believe your reality. Nope. I don't care what that paper says. I don't care what you say. I had people, right, that idiots in the medical field, idiots that were telling me, oh, I'm very sorry, but your life expectancy really went down bad. You're talking about kids coming into the medical field, opening their mouths and where they don't need to say shit, not knowing what the F they're talking about, and then their superiors like, what are you doing? Right? And I'm like, what? What? Because, look, as a human being, nobody wants to hear that you're ending, right? No. Nobody wants to hear the finality of it. Nobody wants to hear that one day you will end. You want to live on. You want, hope and dreams. But no, there's no sadness. There is no, ultimately, there's hope. There's goodness. There's positive. I'm not ending. I'm not ending. But when that happened, and I had one idiot and a second idiot tell me something, I thought it was coming to an end. I thought my world was about to shatter, right? And it affected me. And I started to get really depressed again. And it took my family. It took Scott, my right-hand man on here, the blind dyslexic. He's like, what are you doing? Yeah, I'm not writing anymore. Why? Oh, I don't have the money to do the book. What do you mean? That's never stopped you before. You've always found money to do. What's the matter? Yeah, I'm not doing podcasts. Why? Yeah, I don't think I want to do podcasts. Why? What's the matter with you? And then I told him. And he's like, so that's it? Right? You're done, right? You just take off the hoodie, hang up the hat. You're done, right? That's not how it works. What are you talking about? You're going to believe that? You, of all people? Like, he's like, you try to inspire others. You always believe in hope. You're going to, he's like, are you kidding me? You would look at that result and you would change it. You would change the impossible. And I that day I was really sad. I was really sad, thinking I was going to be over. Right. Then I said to myself, you were in the medical field, right? You know there's second opinions, there's third opinions. Like, why don't you look at what this person's saying and this thing's saying as medical perspective? Like, why don't you look into it really? Like, you were a boss. I was a boss, right? Ran a practice, right? Why don't you look at what this person's talking to you like you're in charge of the medical practice and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about? Like you're like kids screaming to you like, oh, we'll do this, and you're like, no, right? Why don't you look at it like that? So that's when I started to look at things, right? And I started to find faults. And then I started going for tests. And I started getting second opinions. And I changed my doctor. And I changed things. Guess what? Guess what? Complete bullshit. Bullshit. Now, maybe at the time, things looked pretty fucking bad. But just like Stella got our groove back, I don't know what the fuck happened. But I guess I was regenerating. Because I'm hearing some weird fucking shit. Like when I went to the hospital for one thing. Oh no, it's acid reflux. Oh. Well, you did all these tests, right? Yeah. So, but they said this happened. Really? Because that's not what these results say. And I'm like, what? Are you sure that you have this, you have that, you're doing this, you're doing that? Are you sure? Because we're looking at the results. Your heart is like an athlete. Are you active? Yeah, I walk all the time. There's cardio. Can you run up a flight of stairs? Yeah, no problem. Okay. Are you fat? I mean, are you overweight? Let's see. No, you're not. That's great. Why do you think this is the case? I mean, I did lose weight. Maybe that's, I don't know. Right? And they looked at my results and they're like, and the lady's like, hon, I really think, I don't know what these people are talking about, but I think you need to go for a new doctor. You need to go for some stuff. Yeah. Because we don't see any of that. And we're in the hospital. We got state of the art motherfucking. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. So my confidence started getting back, of course, which affects everything. Mind you, right now, okay. There's some stuff we can't control, right? All right, losing my hair. What are you gonna do? Teeth. Okay. That thing that could have killed me in here, gone. Gone. Now, mind you, there's other medical issues, sure, but this thing that could have went to the heart and ended everything, gone. Okay. Could we get it out? Because that's what I'm scheduled to do. Oh, we can't do that. Why not? So this is what I'm dealing with now, is vanity, where just because it's ugly doesn't mean it's no longer life threatening, by the way. So it's just ugly. So it's sort of like me wanting to fix it still because don't want to run the risk of there being problems, but it's a vanity issue. So I got my insurance company's not ready to do it. So now the insurance renews. So of course more money, whatever, right? So we'll find out. Hopefully they come out and I get brand new ones. But then they just had some weird medical breakthrough that it's very convenient that now you can take medicine to regrow teeth. Wow. Somebody up there loves me because thank you. I'll just pop a fucking medicine. I'll fucking regrow everything then. Jesus. And there's things happening overseas that developing cures for other things. Wow. That's awesome. So my mindset is different again. It's positive. It's better. Podcasts are back. Holy shit. Wow. What one thing that Sharon has done right here changes everything. One thing. One little change. Sharon did this. One thing. One thing. You can fucking see me. Oh shit. One light. That's all it is. One light changed it all. And now I need a better microphone, and I want a better computer. And okay. Now, mind you, it's not everything is hunky dory, and not everything is, great. But I'm working on it. I'm trying to get there. Whatever medical things, I got issues with my stomach. Why do I have issues with my stomach? Because my stomach took a number from the infection that it tried to fight off so it wouldn't go to the heart. And my stomach got damaged. Is it irreversible? No. My stomach, like, for some reason, it's healing, but my stomach isn't 100% like it was. So it's getting there, but it's affecting me. Yeah. I mean, it takes me out of gaming sometimes. Sorry. So I'm trying to work it out and do what I can. But yeah, everything that's going wrong, I'm trying to improve as a human being, and I always believe in hope. So it's a new year, the year of the 26th, and I still have my group. I know they're not in here now because nobody really knew I was fucking doing a podcast. So like I said, I've been behind the scenes. I've been telling people I'm trying to change my sleeping schedule so I can get back to the, like what my jobs are, like, like just so I can be awake, so like trying to change my sleeping schedule back to the mentality of the retail / medical, right? Like working. So trying to change it up, and again, it's a struggle, but I don't need to be up at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. I should be sleeping. So that way in the morning to go do what I have to do, make money and stuff, right? So we'll see how that goes. I'm hopeful, right? There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes with YouTube. I was not thrilled with certain things. I'm not happy that they took 2 of my checks, but I'm getting a check any week. That will cause a stir because, of course, I'm going to implement that into my stuff, and then things are going to change. TikTok, started getting a check from that. Happy about that. So I may be older in a number, but I don't feel older in a number. I don't have the time awareness. I kind of see myself and feel as if I'm 20. And in some cases, I do feel like I'm 20. In some cases, I feel like I'm 50. But yeah, I'm hopeful about the future, and I'm hopeful to do podcasts and be with my group, the Real Whovians, and to talk with friends that I've got along the way that, I would love to do podcasts with, like I did before. I'm getting a lot more staying power. It's already an hour and 4 minutes, and I'm good. Like, I'm sitting here and I lasted, and that's great. Oh, also, I do want to bring stuff up that's not Doctor Who to the viewer. I have to really bring something up. You will see stuff on my channel. Okay. There is stuff on my channel. It's not for everybody. Right. I do reviews. So I'll review a coffee. I'll review a snack. I'll review a donut. Know that that review is like a minute long, right? A minute, 2 minutes. Don't create a story based on a video. Sharon uses her famous expression, don't give yourself a story, right? Don't think because I reviewed a donut that I lost control. So if I did a donut video and then weeks before that I did a donut video and then months before that, that's 1 minute out of a week, out of a month. If there was 2 donuts, that would be 2 minutes out of a 24-hour period, out of a weekly period, out of a monthly period. It's 2 minutes. Don't give yourself a story. Don't go on the internet and don't be like, oh my God, he's out of control. He's eating junk. That's why his teeth is like that. Don't do that. Don't go, you need to stop eating like this. No, it's called creating content, and you don't see me eat the whole donut, do you? Some cases, most of the time, no. Most of the time, I'll have a bite and throw it out. Maybe I'll have half and throw it out. Very rare if I have the whole donut. But even if I did have the whole donut, do you think I eat like I used to eat? So don't give yourself a story. Don't think that you're my health doctor, my expert, and that you're going to explain away what's going wrong in my life. Don't give yourself a story to why my teeth are like this. Because the easy way to say why my teeth are like this is that I was negligent. And I didn't take care of myself. And I didn't do this and I do that. And it's all bullshit. It's to do with a medical condition, not with the way I took care of myself. Medical condition that people have that no idea how it happened or why it happened, but you just have this medical condition. Just like people get food allergies for some reason. So don't give yourself a story. And that happened last year. People are like, he's a nut. He's eating like a pig. And that really made them look like they had no intelligence. You're thinking about a minute video that I eat a snack or a donut compared to how many hours are in a year. That's pathetic. And even if you did add up the time frame of each video for the entire year of donut lesson, it wouldn't even come out to like an hour. Because I label the episodes. So if the current episode is episode 18 of a season of a donut lesson, and if the video is a minute, that's 18 minutes. 18 minutes out of a year. Look at the time frame of that and try to realize how stupid it is that people will try to make 18 minutes out of a year to be that something's wrong with me. You understand what I'm saying? I just want to, same thing like these people with gaming. I got these people on TikTok trying to run calculations. Like they're, all of a sudden, everybody wants to be Einstein, creating all these theories, like telling me to be 100 years in order to get these platinums and blah, blah. No. By what model? See, I'm complicated. I'm a complicated space-time event. I can't be predicted. I'm spontaneous. If you go by the model of getting a platinum a day, that's not my model. I could get 100 in a day if I wanted to. The most I got in a day was 105. So if I played like shit 6 days in the week. And on the 7th day, I got 105 platinums. Your whole rule of measurement's out the goddamn fucking window. So you can't measure my success in gaming. You can't measure me being a trophy hunter at all because I'm a paradox. You cannot figure it out. You may look at him, he's like, oh, he ain't getting that many platinums. And then you wake up and you're like, where the fuck did he get 50 from? It happens. So you really got to look at the overall picture before you could judge. And before you could open your mouth and judge, think about what you're saying. That's what I'm going to leave it off in this podcast. So I hope you enjoyed the Real Whovians cast. I hope it was informative. And there'll be more. There'll be the Everything Show, which I'm going to try to get Chris to talk about Godzilla stuff and the MCU stuff and the Avengers and Doomsday and all that stuff. And my gaming podcast too. So we got that coming down the pipeline. We got me gaming, which hopefully today's a better day of gaming than yesterday. Hopefully, stomach willing. I did waste time on and off playing Hidden Cats in Tokyo, and I did not look at the trophy list. Had I looked at the trophy list, I would have realized, hey, got to do it without hints. So now, yes, I have to go back and do 75% of the game, but that's okay because I learned my lesson because I didn't pay attention to the trophy list. So, I'm going to bring this up too because people don't understand. I have a Discord. My son Joe created my Discord. And again, I'm new to the Discord thing. I really don't know what the hell I'm doing with the Discord. There's an example of that because Boogie2988 was yelling at me because I didn't know what the hell I was doing with the Discord because I was trying to go onto Locale Live to appear again with them, and I didn't know what I was doing. I'm an idiot when it comes to Discord. But there are things that, because it's my Discord, I want things done my way, right? So, like, if my family is going to the trouble of making a Discord for me, it's to promote me, Matrix Lord 212, not to, like, I had this thing and I was trying to tell Daniel, my Daniel from my podcast, right? I was trying to tell Daniel, explain to him, yeah, dude, I don't want you posting this. I don't want you posting that. I don't want you, like, doing this. I don't want you doing that. Like, it's my Discord, right? I've been saying it. I've been saying it on different platforms, and, he kept doing it. And I just had enough, and I'm like, took care of it, right? Now, maybe Daniel is not watching everything. Maybe he's not watching my interactions on Twitter. Maybe some people do, like maybe K Rain's watching what I say on Twitter. Maybe he's watching what I say on TikTok. Maybe he's watching what I say on YouTube. So maybe he knows, right? But if, like, I don't talk about politics, right, on my channels and on my thing, I don't want politics on my Discord. It's my Discord. I don't want to see that. If I'm talking about Doctor Who, you're going to see my videos on Discord, the Real Whovians cast, or you're going to see videos. Why would you put other stuff on there on my Discord without even asking? Just, especially if, like, I'm having words about somebody and you're putting that on there. So, like, don't do that. But I've said it a few times. So Daniel got a timeout, and he was not sure what happened. And I said this to you on YouTube. I said this to you on Google. I said this to you on this. I said this to you on 5 different things not to do it, and you did it. So I gave you a timeout. Now Daniel will be back today on my Discord, but again, it's supposed to be my Discord, so I kind of want stuff that I like related to that, right? But you could give your opinions on my Discord, but I don't want to see videos from an enemy of mine or like someone I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like you could say what you want to say about Doctor. You can say what, but like, why are you doing that? You know? And I'm not saying it's enemies too. It's just, you know, I don't know the timing of it, but like, do I talk about politics? No. Don't put that on my Discord. I gotta enjoy my Discord. If I don't like the Discord, if it's not gonna be my Discord the way I want it to be, I'll get rid of Discord. So that's the whole point. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and again, I had issues too. Of course, K Rain, you know I had an issue with you too. Like, I'm gonna post what I want in my Discord. Don't tell me what the fuck to post. Just saying. When you tell me on my shit what to post, right? I get pissed, right? That's an eye opener, okay? I'm the boss of me. Don't be a boss. Don't try to be whatever. You want to be a friend? You want to be a fan? You want to be whatever? No controlling here. Nobody controls me. So, like, don't be questioning why the fuck I do this, why I do that, why I play this, why I play that, why I do this video, why I do that. Don't do it. And when I post something, before you open your mouth or before you respond, realize what the fuck I'm posting. Common sense. Like, no, okay. You just told me why I'm posting this when I'm like fucking pouring my heart out in my Discord, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Come on, dude. Everybody does it once in a while. But I'm not singling you out, but come on. You've done stuff. Not that you meant to. But all I'm saying is, like, just think before you post. That's it. Anyway, it's the morning. It's 8:28. I got the whole day still to go. Whole day. So I'm going to tell you, I want you to have a great day. A fabulous day. I want it to be a positive day for you. I want it to be the best friggin' day you ever had in your damn life. Go out there. Enjoy the day. Be happy. Be good. Take care, bye for now.